Hi guys, Brooke and Laura here with MyVirtual.Lawyer, and we are here for Lawyering Outside the Lines. It's a new show that we just kicked off last week. We do it every Tuesday at this time, and we are here to talk to other attorneys and to interact with you guys. We want to bring everybody together to collaborate and discuss innovation in the profession and how we can innovate our practices and just kind of share resources and ideas and give you guys kind of some feedback on some things that we found to work and that we're doing in our practice. So if you're here, if you saw our promo leading up to this, today we are wanting to just kind of set the framework. If you're here, you're probably wanting to, maybe make a change, look for a way to innovate your practice, bring some new energy into your practice, into your life. So today we kind of want to talk a little bit about the holistic approach we take and what that means for us here in our firm.
Exactly. And January is a very interesting time, I think, for entrepreneurs and business owners, which a lot of you, even if you don't necessarily own your own business, you are forward thinkers and you're, trying to think outside the box if you're coming here and talking to us in this group environment. But January is a good time to kind of step back and take a look at your business, at your life, at what kind of balance you want, and reflect on last year and kind of consider what you want this new year to look like. And we at MVL had a very interesting 2018. Just like a lot of entrepreneurs and business owners, we were in hyper super growth period, and a little bit sooner than we expected to be with our licensing company. And we just spent the entire year of 2018 reacting to everything. We were not proactive pretty much about a single thing.
Because we couldn't be. We had a plan and none of that happened. So yeah. we had to be flexible, whereas we call it pivot. Pivot. You'll hear us say that probably every time.
Exactly, because pivot is the best word ever. And I used to, at business meetings with Brooke, I used to have the word pivot written in all bold letters on the back of my notebook, and anytime something I needed to make us laugh or anything like that, I just lift it up and it would say pivot. So I'll make sure to bring that notebook next week so you guys can see what I'm trying to draw. Pivot, exactly. But yeah, we were just in a situation where, because everything was changing so rapidly and we were having to figure things out so quickly that were unexpected, that we spent 2018 just reacting and not really having any intention behind what we were doing. It was more of a, how do we fix this? How do we put out this fire? How do we make this person happy? How do we, make money? How do we do all these things? And so, Brooke and I, it started in December, but has bled over into January quite a bit, where we are trying, and so far doing a pretty good job, to make our 2019 all about intention. We want to be intentional with our actions, intentional with our choices, intentional with pretty much everything that we do. So it's a lot of proactive and positive forward momentum. And with that, we're having to obviously look very minutely at some of the things that did go wrong last year, and that we know that we need to improve, and we're splitting those up between us and figuring out kind of what the best approach is. And also, we have kind of changed our mindset. So when you get into kind of that reactive cycle, we had some new things that kind of came in, really exciting things. We had some problems. We had a really great year last year, but our mindset was focused on what is going wrong, not necessarily what is going right. And so I think that was part of what kind of threw us off track. So, you want to go into these things, I need to change. I don't know what to do. I'm excited. I want to put some new energy. I want to love my law firm. I want to enjoy my life. And so, but for us, a lot of that was we did not have the right mindset, so that kind of pushed us into the reactive mode. So like Laura's saying, now we are more intentional and have really set ourselves up to start this year more intentionally. And we kind of want to share with you maybe some of the resources and things we found along the way that have kind of helped us so far stay on track with that mindset. And it's great because we're accountable to each other. And,
her positive mindset when we have a situation, especially if you're in a partnership or have other attorneys in your firm with you, your mood, your mindset, your behavior really impacts that person. So if you're trying to make a change and you're in a small firm or with a partner, and you want to convince them this is a good idea, it's a good idea for you to also bring that positivity, bring that energy, because I know maybe something happens and I'm down about it. If Laura has here's this positive outlook on it, here's this spin, then that does dramatically affect my attitude and my mindset towards it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a really good thing to play off each other too. And it is, I think, we're just in a world where we can get down so quickly and so easily. Lawyers don't usually deal with happy things all the time. So there are very few happy reasons that people come talk to lawyers. And, we just have to figure out ways to not let that kind of affect us. And it's, so Brooke's been listening to a lot of.
Well, and I'll add too, if you're solo, you're not necessarily on your own, reach out to other lawyers.
Right.
Other people are kind of there too. So, if they're doing innovative things, doing things you want to do, just, other lawyers in your community, join. Laura and I are both part of mastermind groups that are not even lawyer groups. So, just having that community to help build you up and to collaborate with is awesome also.
It is. And honestly, sometimes you don't want to talk to other lawyers. Sometimes you do. We have security, people and swag sellers and all sorts of different things in our little mastermind groups. And we're basically sharing best practices and tips on just business owning and everybody in these groups, because we're both in different groups, and everybody in these groups their entire goal in 2019 is to be more positive about kind of what they're doing.
Positive, intentional, and just, have the right mindset. So like Laura said, it's really easy for, life happens, stuff in your practice happens. The legal profession is hard, especially, Laura handles most of our family law stuff, and that can definitely, wear on you. So, it's good to have that community around you. And she mentioned a minute ago when I interrupted her that, and I would like to say also, Laura is awesome because she is sick and she is here today. This is me introducing her being sick, but she came over here sick anyways. And so one of the perks of being a virtual lawyer is usually if we're sick, we can still get our stuff done because all of our things that we do are limited scope and transactional.
Yes.
So typically we can hang out in our pajamas. So she really toughed it out to come over here today. But
I did work from bed all morning. I put on a little bit of makeup for you guys, but I'm going to go back and go to bed and work from my bed this afternoon. So.
Right. Yes, so thank you for coming, because otherwise I was just going to wing this myself. So much better to have Laura here. But like Laura mentioned, I've been trying to keep in this mindset. And so with that, it's surrounding yourself with other people that have the same goals. It's also, listening things, watching things that are going to build you up and that are going to encourage you. And most recently, my mastermind group started reading. I do audiobooks, but I started listening to Leveraging the Universe and Engaging the Magic by Mike Dooley. And I know some people are probably like, okay, sure. But it's really amazing, really practical, and applying it to business has been pretty amazing. Applying some of these principles from this and from other audiobooks that I've listened to have been pretty amazing. And it always reminds me of, so step one from it, there are three things I took away from this that I'm going to share with you guys. One is, focus on, if you're wanting to make change, focus on what you want to change, what you want to do, and don't stress out really initially about any of the how, just what you're going to do. And then put all your energy toward that. And I was telling Laura that when I was listening to it, it made me laugh because it was reminding me of the 90s Saturday Night Live skit with Al Franken, the Stuart Smalley, he's looking in the mirror. And if we thought about it, we would have done the mirror and it would just acted it out. But I'm good enough, I'm smart enough, and doggone it, people like me. But I mean, for real, what what you're thinking is going to affect how you feel. And so if you're doing those affirmations, if you're putting things out, one phrase he used a lot in his book was thoughts become things. And that's so powerful to me because, we have to be really intentional, like we're talking about, that's our word for the year, to focus on the thoughts that we have, the words that we say, because that's what we think, and that's where we go when we have that mindset. So if I think, oh, well, you know, I'm never gonna, you know, be able to be successful with this. Well, you know, it's gonna be really hard to be successful if that's your mindset. So, you know, even if it's cheesy and you have to tell yourself, like I read this one audiobook and I started doing this and I feel silly all the time. Like I found a dime in here before Laura got here and I pick it up and I'm like, I am a money magnet, and I feel silly when I do it, but I'm like, I will keep this dime, and I realize it's only a dime. But anyway, so, you know, just things like that, you know, makes me feel encouraged, and it keeps me going, even, you know, for myself, not necessarily relying on somebody else. I'm able to build myself up. The second thing that I learned from listening to that is, which I love, is do what you can with all you can from where you're at. And so when I started MVL, I didn't have, you know, some big amount of, you know, startup money. I just kind of had an idea and I needed to figure out what to do with it. So, you know, I looked around and I leveraged, I had a friend in marketing and he helped me build my website. And, you know, I had connections at the bar. And so, you know, I kind of leveraged what I had and put myself out there. And, you know, hey, this is where I want to go and this is where people are doing that. So let me get involved, you know, with the American Bar. So I started doing things like that, but it wasn't, hey, everything is perfect. Hey, I already have a brand and I'm putting myself out there. Hey, I already have all this money. It's, you know, taking your idea, taking whatever change you want to make in your firm, in your life, and, you know, whatever resources you have and using those, and then you build on that, and then you'll get there. And along those lines, the third thing I took away was really persistence makes the difference. So, you know, it may not happen for you today, but if you keep going, even when you want to quit, if you keep going, you know, when you're running up against struggles, that just means that, you know, it's time for growth. Those struggles are going to help you grow. So you just keep going beyond that. But those are the three takeaways that I had, and I wanted to share with you guys today, because, you know, Laura and I really think, even going into the details of other things that we're going to talk about on this show, it's really important to go at change, innovation, with the mindset, and be a little bit fearless, be a little bit, you know, be confident in yourself, even if you're not. Say, I'm a wonderful speaker. I'm going to go, you know, apply to speak. Even if you think you're a terrible speaker, if you say it enough, you're probably going to convince yourself, or at least other people, that you're really amazing at it. So it's all about mindset.
It is. It's mindset is huge, and you know, we're going to talk about that. That's going to be kind of an underlying theme, and what we're talking about is, if you don't believe it, why would anybody else believe it? So, and that's true about if you want to be the best singer in the world or the best actress in the world. It's if you want to have a nice little paycheck along with a good life, then you got to figure out the best way for you to go about that. And if you don't believe it, then it's probably not going to come true. So that's a little bit of what we wanted to talk about today. On, I don't even know what day it is. What is today?
It's Tuesday.
Today is Tuesday.
Every Tuesday.
Every Tuesday at 11:30 Central.
10 or 12.
Oh, 12, I'm sorry. Every Tuesday.
Don't know what time it is either.
I'm on medication.
At 12 o'clock Central Time.
12 o'clock Central Time, which is 1 o'clock Eastern Time, and 10 o'clock Pacific.
And 11 Mountain Time.
11 Mountain Time. We're going to be talking to
Billy.
you. Hi, Billy. We're going to be talking to you about kind of different topics. Today was a little bit more of our, I would say, granola topic, but it's really honestly super helpful to have that positive mindset. But we don't only want to talk about the granola love and have your positive mindsets. We also want to talk about making money. And so next week, we want to talk about how different ways that you can make money, and talk about alternative fee arrangements for getting paid from your clients. So join us next week, and we'll talk a little bit more about what goes in your pocket versus just what's coming out of your mind and heart.
Right. So you can love your law firm and make money while you're loving your law firm.
Exactly. So thanks again for joining. If you have questions or comments, this is a place for all of us to kind of get together and discuss just non-traditional options. You know, have a nice little forum to talk about different things that we want to do with our law lives, so that we have a good life and a good practice, and can enjoy them both. So thanks so much.
Thanks, guys.
We'll see you next week.
See you next week.